Joe Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are looking at Agent Helix. And I just spent a whole lot of time trying to track down her first appearance in the IDW comics, which was a one-shot tied into the Rise of Cobra movie. I was able to find a few of the regular G.I. Joe run that she appeared in, issue 23, but I spent way too much time looking for it. I used to own it, but we had a flood in 2009. I lost a bunch of comics, and that might have been one of them. So whatever the case, this character has a history going back to 2009. Helix was originally developed for the Rise of Cobra video game tie-in, and then made her way into the comics and into the action figure line at the time. Whoop, that just popped right off. And it was really cool because, well, to this day, really, we still don't have a great amount of female. We'll take a closer look at this in a minute. We still don't have a great amount of female representation in the Joe line. We're getting better with things like the Valkyries, and it looks like the Ferret driver that's teased on the Vamp packaging is going to be a female figure. But as far as named female characters, the more the better. And Helix is one of them. And I'm pretty excited to open this one up, so let's get to it. This is I think one of the last examples of the current style of packaging we're going to see. Cool art. We love this packaging. I still think they accidentally swapped her background with Shockwave's, because Shockwave is out in front of a cabin somewhere, and she's got a SWAT van behind her. I was curious to see if that was just the early pictures and the actual packaging would be fixed, but clearly it is what it is, but who cares, really? On the back, you've got the typical stuff that's on the back. Let's get to the figure. I'm tired of talking about packaging, to be honest with you. I love this style of packaging. On the last Audible Interlude, we talked about the reveals of Metalhead and Mutt and Junkyard's packaging, which, of course, will be reviewed here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. You know, they're just not exciting, to be honest. It's fine. I don't care, because I throw it all away anyway. But as far as just looking at it and taking it in, All right, let's put the locker to the side. Agent Helix, number 104. Get the figure out. And right now, I'll tell you right off the bat, looks way cooler than the original renders that we were looking at. Interesting to note, her plastic tie things are up here above her knees rather than on her ankles. And I wonder, and it's given her this. Have you ever seen the movie The Arrival with Charlie Sheen? Now she looks like one of those aliens, but I'm sure we can get that taken care of. I really, really, really hate these plastic tabs, and I will say this: hopefully, the return of plastic trays in the packaging means that these plastic tabs will go away, because these were not a part of the original classified packaging. If you remember, the trays just held them in place, and they didn't have these tabs that are so annoying. So, grayscale art looks really cool. I just like seeing the color art on the box and then the grayscale art inside. It's just a different experience. It's like seeing the Mist in color and in black and white. Alright, it's nothing like that, but whatever. If you haven't seen The Mist, do yourself a favor and watch it. The one with Thomas Jane, by the way. One of the best endings in the history of horror. In the history of film, maybe even. She feels a little loose. Not horribly so, but just noticeably a little looser than some of the other figures in the line. Kind of trying to figure out where the seams on her. This figure seems to have 2 left thighs. This figure is defective. That's a new one. Okay. Well, this is horribly disappointing. If you take a look, here, we'll move the gear down, because this is unfortunately... Oh, this came from Big Bad Toy Store. They were the ones to get this to me early. So if you see on her right leg, you can see where this material Obviously, the seams line up over here. But then on this leg, she has another left thigh. Because this should be on the inside, not on the outside. So this is a defective figure that I'm going to have to return. And that's pretty annoying. But I will continue the review because other than that thigh, hopefully there are no other problems with the figure. Well, I'll tell you right now, you can see right here on the elbow, some issues with the paint. The yellow up there. So defects aside, let's try and figure out if this is a good figure. And I am inclined to say, yes, it is. All right, so we've got a cool belt. Well, let's do the comparison first. Okay, that stand just isn't going to stay on. So here is the original Helix from 2009, part of the Rise of Cobra line. You can see she's got the cool G.I. Joe movie symbol. I'm a big fan of that. And this is a really good figure for the time. It was pretty exciting to get a new character like this in the line, but also this figure is just in general pretty killer. Very Aeon Flux kind of thing going on, but 100% new tooling. Everything just looks great. So comparison-wise, we've got a relatively faithful update, not even update, just a relatively faithful 6-inch version. I think maybe I would... Man, the hair looks really good, though. Okay, so you can see the original figure has kind of the black under dye. I don't know what the term for that is, but she's got black underneath blonde, kind of like the wrestler Jamie Hayter used to have. And so the new figure, they've done something a little different that looks really good and is honestly maybe a little bit more modern than that cut. But you can see, let's see, just the shading that they've done in the hair. There's actual different color right here in the roots. So it doesn't look as much like, see, this is more of a platinum, and then over here it's a little darker at the roots. So it doesn't look like toy hair, like Buzzer. Buzzer's hair was just yellow, and it's not the best. The body, this is all new stuff. I like this little readout deal on her arm right here, which is also on the original, but not as detailed. Yeah, man, I really like this figure. I am going to have to get another one. And I hate to contact Big Bad for a return, but I mean, this is just not acceptable. Like, I can't deal with that. I love the way. So we got a little Band-Aid right over here. Whether that's an actual Band-Aid or a tattoo, I do not know, but it looks cool. Nice little detail, whatever it's supposed to be. I've got the elbow. The way the shirt is designed is cool. The gray, they probably should have just stuck with this all being gray rather than trying to work this yellow around here, because then that would have hidden the joints better. But the double jointed elbows have a really deep range. Now, it does give you this incredibly unnatural U shape in the arm, but that's what the people want, so good for Hasbro for giving it to them. I've got the butterfly joints. The portrait, I realize I've already looked at the hair, but the portrait looks great. The eye makeup is tremendous. This next to... Look, I didn't have a huge problem with CoverGirl's portrait. I kind of recognized it was a little exaggerated and cartoony, but comparing this to that, obviously CoverGirl could be better. The harness, the armor around her torso, like, just... This figure is much, much cooler than I was expecting from the initial pictures. I've just got to say. They've done a really, really good job with this one, with making it unique, with making it cool looking. I don't know why her shin guards have vents in the back. Maybe these are like jump boots. I don't know. It looks cool. It may be a little much for some people who aren't fans of the sci-fi aspects of G.I. Joe, but if there's some kind of you know, if these pull in solar energy and can give her a little jumping boost from time to time, maybe that's the thing that is. I don't know. I'm just making up technology that sounds feasible for, what is it, 10 minutes into the future or whatever it's supposed to be. I am glad they put paint on these metallic pouches here. On her belt, looks really good. Couple of grenades in the back. We've got a loop here for an accessory. Yeah, looks good. I really, really dig this figure a lot more than I thought I was going to. There's more to it than the initial pictures revealed. So let's back out a little bit because I do want to do a size comparison. Here's our 00 Snake Eyes. So you can see Helix is definitely smaller by a good bit than the male figures. I would like to see some kind of larger females in the line. That would be a good thing. But this is about the size that I think Helix is supposed to be. So it looks pretty good. Let's get Snake Eyes out of here so Scarlet doesn't get jealous like she did in the comics. So yeah, figure-wise, aside from, like, this, to be honest, I don't know that I even... Let's get our zoom back here. I mean, I would have noticed it, but I would have been like, whatever. It's a production thing for a mass market retail line. I'm not going to go crazy over that. But combined with the wrong thigh being on here is definitely return worthy. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out. I got a couple of holsters on the thighs that look really good. They fit pretty snugly and aren't sliding around. And that's, I don't mind. You can see this belt is just jumping all over the place. But it does kind of sit a little snug once you push it down some. I don't mind these kinds of pieces as long as they're really snug and they don't move. When I mind them is when they're just loose and flying all over the place. So let's set Helix off to the side over here. Really, the color, the yellow looks great. Now I kind of want the barbecue that they did as I think it was a Toys R Us exclusive. It might have been a Target exclusive for Rise of Cobra. Now I want a barbecue in the yellow to kind of match her, just for nostalgia's sake. It's weird to be saying nostalgia about 2009, but 2009 was 14 years ago. I don't know why I'm breaking that down. I just have to pack it back up. So let's take a look at the accessories. A couple of really cool things in here that at first I didn't love, and then I realized, oh, well, the Joe team designed these, so they work a certain way that I didn't acknowledge at first. Let's move everything off to the side so we can focus on, first of all, the katanas with the yellow handles. These are rigid. These are not rubbery, which is fantastic. I think these are the same ones that came with the movie Storm Shadow, I believe. But you can see the sculpted detail. Look at the way they did the just the sculpt work on the blades. These are great looking swords, and I do like them in black with the yellow handle. Like, that's really striking and cool looking. And you've got a matched set. Oh, wait a minute. You know, I don't know if I noticed this, but look, they're not the same sword. These actually have different hilts on them. What an unnecessary but cool thing. Look, the length of the hilt isn't even the same. So my guess is one of these maybe is from that Storm Shadow, and one of these is from one of the other figures that's come out. But cool. So she actually has two different swords to go with her. I think that's great. I hate this. I don't think this is great. Any kind of blade storage that leaves the blades exposed is dumb. I will never be a fan of it. I don't like it. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But the swords do go into her, into the backpack there. And if you kind of push them down a little bit, they do friction into place. But then you've got these exposed blades just sticking out here. I can't stand that. I wonder if Gridiron or anybody makes a proper scabbard for these, or if there's another thing. Because I would like her... Well, I don't know if I do necessarily want her to have those, because she also includes these insane... that I thought were part of the figure, like permanently attached, because I just wasn't thinking about how classified works when I first saw these. So these are these articulated wrist. Man, these are really sick. Look, I know not everybody is going to dig these, and I get it. I totally understand that this kind of thing, but this to me, like as a kid, oh, I would have been all over these things. They seem, though, to be, if I'm being honest here, they seem a little more villainous to me. Like, they don't seem like a good guy weapon. And I mean, weapons are weapons. Anything can be a good guy weapon. But they clip right on. They're very secure. So the plastic... well, first of all, the plastic of the blades is more rigid than you would expect. It is not gummy at all. The blades are nice and straight. I'm really impressed with the construction of these. The wristbands are a little softer plastic, but again, you can see they're firm enough to stay on really well. This is... I am very impressed with how these things are engineered. And they're just wicked looking. I love them. What is it? Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear that had something kind of like this. I know there's precedent for these, probably in video games or whatever. But these are really cool, man. I think I'm going to end up displaying her with those. Just look at the sculpt on them, all the detail. Like, clearly, they had a lot of fun designing how these were going to work, what they were going to look like. They're nice and pointy. The blade, like the edge, feels sharp. These are awesome. Perhaps the best executed classified accessory of the year. I know, I'm going to have to go back and look just to be sure. But my gosh, I mean, they nailed it with these things. Okay, so let's get to the less exciting, but still pretty exciting. She's got dual blasters with extended magazines and ports for blast effects. You know, we're lucky that she wasn't a deluxe figure, because a couple more pieces could have justified her being, like, throwing some blast effects and maybe an alternate portrait that looked a little more like the original. And could have very easily been a deluxe. But this is a standard mainline release. So, got the two blasters that are going to go into... Man, look at... Okay, just one more look. Just really, really cool looking. So those are going to go into the thigh holsters, hopefully. Oh, yeah, slide right into place. I mean, not that I'm surprised. This is one area that, in general, Classified has not had any problems with, is how the accessories interact with the figure. Those magazines do stick out a little far, but whatever, they look cool. And then finally, a wicked-looking knife with a nice spiked hilt. Great detail there. The blade, very cool, unique shape. And again, though, we've got... That's going to plug right up. I'm not going to push that too much further. Oh, and this one is rubbery. But it does maintain its shape really well, so I can't be too mad about that. Look, I'll take... I don't care if it's a softer plastic, as long as it maintains its shape. And look at that. I mean, that is perfectly straight. So what's there to complain about, really? All right, so get that up in there. That's just going to cut one of her butt cheeks off when she starts running, I guess, is just how that's designed. But, you guys, this is a killer figure. I am way happier with Helix than I expected to be, and I'm totally bummed that I've got to deal with a return because of that thigh. And I hope they're not all like that, because my gosh, that is going to be disappointing, because this figure is awesome. I am so happy. It's so nice, you know, because the classified line is so big now. You get a couple that are like, okay, this is great. This is what you get a snow job, and then you get a couple that maybe have a couple disappointing elements, and then you get a Helix, and you're like, okay, cool, we're right back around to being awesome. Aside from the QC, but design-wise, execution-wise, like, this is a great figure. I'm stoked. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. Stay tuned for the rest of this wave for whenever it ends up delivering. Man, this is just sick. And until next time, yo, Joe.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.